Drivers making their way out to the second then. Let's take you through the full starting lineup, the first race of the day. It's qualifying heat 1 for OKN Junior. Let's take you through the full starting lineup. It's Angelina Simmons and William Marshall starting this one on the front row of the grid. James Anagnosiadis from Australia will have Flavio Caria alongside. Savio Dudkowski and Dinia Islamov go from row 3 from Salamatsui. And Leonidas Peruzzi on row 4. Connor Clancy and Case Aziza go from row 5. Casper Reipol, current championship leader, starts this one on the 6th row of the grid with Ninas Malik alongside. Amelia Vishamirska and Ella Hakkinen go from row 7. Axel Nocom and Toby Gale on row 8. Katrina E and Isaac Say on row 9 from Enna Pizzuto and Sunjana Dandu on row 10. They round out the top 20. Vanessa Schilkenet and Matthias Vitva on row 11. Michaela Hart and Charles Troxler on row 12. Amru Adriansen and Max Murray, they go from row 13 from Vera Jurland, and Oscar Gallin on row 14, Sevilla Pavaznaya and Zachariah Dole on row 15. They round out the top 30 from Christian Ebras. Karin Kaur on row 16, Marcel Sabella and Sanjana Dandu on row 17. Victoria Farfus and Egon Pladotti unfortunately starting this one on the 18th row of the grid after they had issues in time qualifying. They did not get a lap time set, so it's certainly going to be a tough weekend for them. Drivers ending their out lap, they'll be starting their formation lap now, and as you can see, the field is actually really spread out at the moment, so we've still got drivers going down the back straight. First drivers going in through turns 7, 8 and 9 at the moment, so again, the field really going to need to bunch up now to make sure we can get a start first time of asking. They did have the safety briefing at the start of this weekend showing where they needed to be. Of course, the red line and the yellow line out there, the red line indicating where they are no longer allowed to overtake. They're under yellow conditions past that red line. They should be in formation, side-by-side formation, ready to start up until around the yellow acceleration line around that area in the tram lines of the grid. Of course, race will not be started until our race director Martin Bean deems it to be a good start. And there, as you can see, drivers now making their way down the back straight in through turns 15 and 16 now, flat out through that corner under full race pace into the heavy braking zone of this final chicane. Drivers will miss the chicane on this lap. They will take the escape road on the outside here while we are formed up, which is good to see. They've all formed to that one. Angelina Simmons then for Spain on the inside. William Marshall on the outside. Lights go green. We are away and racing then for the first race of the day. There is a huge accident on the start-finish straight. There are drivers involved everywhere. The number 45, the number 30 is off the track now. That is Christian Ebras, the 30 as well, who's off the track. That has not gone well at all. That's Marcel Sabella, who is off the track. Luckily, they're all okay. The pinch point, though, at turn 3 has claimed its first victims of the weekend as well. There are more drivers who have got caught out from the rest of the field. There they are on your screen. So many involved. I believe Sunjana Dandu is there. Amelia Adriansen is there. Max Murray. Vera Jurland is there as well. Sevilla Peraznaya. Zachariah Dole is there. As well as, I think, Victoria Farfus has got caught up in that one as well, so it's an absolute disaster. But back here at the front, the race is still going away at the front of this one into the final chicane, and it's a new race leader. It's James Anagnosiadis from Australia who leads the way then across the line ahead of William Marshall. Dudkowski's gone up to 3rd place. Where on earth has Angelina Simmons gone? She's gone down to P5 on this one. That has not been the start she will have wanted. But for Clancy, that is the start he would have wanted. Look at that, 5 places gained for Connor Clancy. Reipold as well, also 5 places gained, is there in P6 and is starting to close in. You can see that battle just behind this one. Anagnosiadis, though, who leads the way ahead of Marshall, looking very strong in this point of the race as they break away from the rest of the field. Dudkowski then, Clancy, Angelina Simmons still there in that top section from Reipold. Caria Aziza up 2 places here. Make that 3 places now up into P7. Biggest mover, though. I'm going to look further down the field. Egon Prodotti has gained 13 places in this race. Sanjana Dandu has gained 10 places in this race at the moment. So big steps all throughout the field. So many retirements, though, in the first lap of this race. Here, though, the race for the lead here in qualifying heat 1 for OKN Junior, and it is Anagnosiadis ahead of William Marshall. The gap, 1/10 of a second as Caesar now sets the fastest lap of the race, is starting to somewhat close in. They're in 7th place right now, 3 positions gained. Caesar was strong at Cremona at the start of the weekend. But here right now, not getting the initial getaway, but still 3 positions gained. Really started to make the way through the field. Dudkovsky still there in 3rd, ahead of Clancy. Reipold, Simmons in 6th place still from Aziza. Peruzzi in 8th. Islamov, Gale, Saramatsui, the top 11. No change at the top 2 just yet. Back on the start-finish straight. We go on to lap 4 now. Halfway through this race. And again, Marshall was looking there. I think he was taking a slightly tighter line in towards turn 1, assessing the situation here. Where's the best place to get that overtake done? So many drivers here this weekend. It is their first time out on this circuit, and here live on board with James Anagnosiadis. Unfortunately, well, it's a clear track ahead for the camera, but for James, he'll be loving this one. A nice clear circuit to go racing on, but he has. If that camera was facing behind, it would certainly tell a different story. William Marshall right on that rear bumper still as they make their way out of turn 14 onto the back straight now. 135 meters of straight down into the fast sweeping turns 15 and 16. Double apex flat out corner into the final chicane. You can see the drivers there not even touching the curbs there. Brilliant driving. Again, you don't want to hit those curbs too much throughout this weekend. They're very harsh, very demanding on a driver if you do keep hitting those curbs. Here's a look at the race start then. So what happened at the back of the grid? Live picture still on the right-hand side of your screen. You need to look down at the 16th row of the grid. And where did the incident happen? Oh, it already happened. So, yeah, right on that screen, you can see Marshall's very quickly on the scene. 3 drivers off the track at the start of that one. This is how James Anagnosiadis got the lead down the inside at turn 1 on that opening lap. That was a superb move. Took a wheel to the gravel there at the start of that race. Here's another angle of it, down in towards turn 1, and just keep an eye. You can see the carnage happening, unfolding in the background there. But yeah, brilliant start for Anagnosiadis, just straight down the inside. Like I say, nearly ended his race before it started. There was the carnage at turn 3, the pinch point that we always talk about. It's so many drivers being retired at the end of this one. Still no change between the top 2 here. Anagnosiadis and William Marshall breaking away from the rest of the field. The gap 1.8 seconds from Dudkovsky, who is there in P3. Simmons back up to P4 now. This is a good recovery for Angelina Simmons. So that qualifying pace now coming back in the race. Gonna make her way through the field here. I think Clancy still fighting back. Reipold still there from Caesar. A little further down in the order. Egon Prodotti, 17 positions gained, up to 19th place as well. But still Isaac Say in 11th now. So Matsui in 12th place from Shilkanate, as it's getting a little bit interesting here further down in the pack. That's Reipold and Gale battling away. You can see Connor Clancy just ahead here. Down in towards the chicane. Big send down the inside into that final chicane, and through goes Caesar. Gaining another position there. Caesar up to P5. He's not going to last long, though. Clancy's going to fight back down the inside at turn 1. Brilliant send there from Connor Clancy. Clancy, it's his first weekend here at Valencia. An experienced driver who has raced at so many circuits around the world, but this one has eluded him so far in his racing career. Right now, Connor Clancy looking very strong here. Caesar, though, trying to break away with Clancy. They have dropped Reipold just a little bit. Reipold, who is still having a good race here. 4 places gained in P7. Looking very strong. Toby Gale as well, who was very strong at Cremona. Didn't have a good qualifying, but made his way through the field at Cremona. Here, though, at Valencia, a completely different circuit, completely different conditions as well. As we go into the final lap of this race, final lap board goes out. Very different racing lines there. This is the battle for P5 right now as Caesar sends it back down the inside of Clancy. Here comes Reipold through as well. And nicely done for these 3 drivers. Controlled racing through the pinch point. Nicely done then. Well, Anagnosiadis still leads the way from Marshall. Simmons Torres still in 3rd place. Dudkovsky, Caesar, Reipold and Clancy. That was the battle we were just watching here. This is your race leader, James Anagnosiadis from Australia, looking very, very strong here. our race leader, now clear by 0.6 of a second from William Marshall, who has not been able to close in or go for the move. It's going to be clean and dry then for Australia here at Valencia. James Anagnosiadis, first race of the day, and he takes the win. Nicely done for James Anagnosiadis, back on form after a good round in Cremona. James Anagnosiadis currently sitting second in the championship. Good points he gained in both of the qualifying heats rounds. 22 points he scored on the first day, 13 on the second day. He is looking to go for a maximum 25 points here, and he's halfway there at the moment. They have got one more heat coming up later on today for the juniors. But for James Anagnosiadis, a brilliant run. That's exactly what he needs then. William Marshall second from Tavi Dudkovsky. But for Australia, James Anagnosiadis, it is a race win. So many retirements in that race. Big shame. We'll go over the full classifications in just a moment as they make their way back to Parc Ferme. Obviously, clean-up job will get underway. There are carts stricken all over the circuit, and I've got to say, some heavy damage to some of them out there as well. And luckily, they've got a bit of breathing space in between this race and the next one. There you can see the drivers making their way back, but obviously all the checks still have to be made. They have to go back to Parc Ferme. Let's take you through the full classifications at the end of that one. Anagnosiadis from Marshall, Angelina Simmons from Xavier Dudkovsky, Case Aziza from Kasper Reipol, Connor Clancy from Toby Gale, Islamov from Linus Peruzzi, Isaac Say from Salamat Sui, Vanessa Shilkanet from Ella Hakkinen, Nilas Malik from Emilia Veshemirska in the top 16, Oscar Gallin from Matthias Witwer, Egon Pedrotti from Charles Troxler in 20th place.